I haven't really talked about the Article 13 thing. I've been waiting to see. Okay, so is the EU going to pass it? Or are they not? And all indications seem to be that Article 13 is going to, at some point, go into effect. Now, um, the interesting thing is, and again, I was waiting on doing this till we know. A year ago, Article 13 was only known to select audience. Today, EU's copyright reform proposals and the potential internet filters have gone mainstream. So the idea is this: if I upload a video and it might have something copyrighted in it, it would automatically be blocked so that you will not be exposed to copyrighted material that the money of which just uh, not go back to the creator. Now, I've been hearing a lot about all the copyright stuff and I stay out of it. Now, this is the thing. On my hockey channel, I don't show anything. Anything. I show the odd hit. I make sure there's no audio. I make sure it's just through my phone. I don't do all the fancy highlight stuff because people are like, you should show highlights. That'd make your videos more fun. Oh, I agree. And a lot less monetizable and a lot more likely to get actioned by some corporation somewhere and lawyers and then I'm done. And then I close up shop and I that's it. I'm done. Now, what copyright 13 is, it means that rather than this current system we have where, I'll upload something and then a filter might go, this might be copyrighted, so we'll hold on to it and we'll process it, or this might be. This sound at this portion of a video sounds like this song. So we've removed the audio. My favorite thing, and this used to happen a lot when I did video diaries, which was there'd be a song playing. I wouldn't think anything of it because I'd just be, watching TV or listening to music. And then it would say the audio plays from this point, and it would be like from 3:07 of video till 7 minutes. So we've removed that audio. Thanks. So I would just go in and delete it because I'm like, there's no point in posting something if you've taken out 4 minutes of audio to help me. So the whole copyright thing, and I stay out of it because honestly, it hasn't. Okay, I can't say it hasn't negatively impacted me because it has. It has, in that when all the demonetization stuff was going on last year, it hit my main channel. It hit this one too, but not to the same extent because this one doesn't make the same amount of revenue. But what it did on the main channel was it meant that I had videos that were just being dinged. And I'd be like, wait, what's going on? And in that case, it was both for potential copyrights and because of, you might have a sensitive topic in there. And because the topic, the video title could mean something else, we're going to go ahead and ding it. Now, YouTube is fighting against this, and this being Article 13. And there are a lot of people posting at YouTube about how they've treated small creators, and I can't really argue against any of those points. I also cannot argue that the whole copyright thing doesn't get overblown. I remember back to, when I was a kid, and you'd make a mixtape. We all made mixtapes. You make mixtapes for people, and or just for yourself, because you got your Walkman. Where you can listen to in your Walkman. I don't want to have to just bring out this CD, this tape. This tape's only got one song on it I like. I know, I'll make a mixtape. So you make a 90-minute mixtape. You throw it in your Walkman, and you're good for the day. You're never gonna get tired of those 25 songs or however many songs you got to fit on a 90-minute tape. And I used to obsess on using up as much of the 90 minutes as possible. So I would sit down and I would figure out how long each song was and try to figure out, like, okay, so if there's dead space in between, how much dead air can I have? How close to 45 minutes can I get? And I would be so proud of myself if I finished that last song on the first side of a tape and then I could see the white of the end of the tape. But, I'd recorded the end of that song and I could see, I'd be like, oh, that was perfect. I pretty much hit 45 minutes right on the nose, and they're all the songs I like. Modern day, the same version of a mixtape is sharing your Spotify list or making a YouTube video. And I like all these songs and explaining why. Part of what I've used before, and I used this years ago, and because you'll get a notice and you'll be told, hey, this company has made this claim against your video for these reasons. And then you can argue it. And my argument was always, A, the quality of the audio in this video sucks. Nobody's going to be copying it. And then B, my other argument would be, The music I used in this video isn't well known. And by using it in videos, and if you let us use these songs and videos, the music could become well known and it could spread. Now, on a personal note as well, now last August, I paid some money to the Deads to have them write a song as an intro for videos on my channel. With Article 13 and with all the copyright stuff that's going on, I'm kind of nervous that even when they give me a song and it's mine, and that I paid for it, that if I use that song at the start of a video, that it's going to get dinged right away. And if that sounds weird, because people will be like, well, if it's a brand new song, that shouldn't happen. No, but when you have record companies getting dinged for copyrights on music they own, it starts to make you wonder about the whole system. So this is why I don't use copyrighted stuff. I make sure that I use thumbnails that will get people to come in and view my videos, but I avoid all that stuff. So with Article 13, it really shouldn't affect my content much. I do worry because I have a lot of subscribers in Europe. If all of them were unable to view any of my content, it absolutely would affect me. I think if just thinking about it in my head here, I think it's about 15 to 20% given whatever day of my traffic is from Europe. So 15 to 20%, if that all of a sudden went off my view counts, my subscriber counts, and my my revenues, that's huge. And it could potentially occur even though I'm not doing anything wrong. And that, I think, is where there's been a problem. Now, I stay out of it because, again, I'm not in that realm. But there are video game reviewers who've got dinged for bad reviews. So if I post a video game review and there's video game footage on the corner of the screen over here, and I'm talking about, this game's awesome, you guys are going to love this game, and oh man, I played it all night and all day, and it was just great, it was fantastic. Good. But if that video game footage is playing in the corner, I'm like, this game sucks. Don't buy it. Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. There are cases where the video game companies will ding that video and go, that's copyright. We'll go ahead and get that review off the internet. And that's an abuse that's in place. Now, I think where YouTube gets caught up is, where does fair use stop and flat out using somebody else's material to profit start? And that's tricky. Very, very tricky. I'll go to Red Letter Media on this because they've used a lot of copyrighted materials in videos. And when I saw the Phantom Menace review the first time that they did, and the Plinkett reviews, and it was almost as long as the movie itself, I watched that Plinkett review 3 or 4 times because there's so much information in there, and yet they use a lot of the footage from the movie. Yeah, George Lucas could totally come out and say, that was mine. Or Disney could come out and say, that's ours now. So, it is tricky, and it's the definition of, okay, so can you argue that video is popular because there's movie footage in it? To some extent, maybe. Is it fair use? In my opinion, yes. And in the minds of most online, I would think the answer would be yes. But, again, sort of what's happened here is that on YouTube, we got ahead of the curve. So you've got copyright laws that were written with, again, mixtapes in mind and radio stations in mind. Copyright laws written with the idea of VHS video pirating going on in mind. And what we're seeing now is something that's so far advanced beyond what the laws are meant to handle. So now the laws are trying to catch up, and there's this whole industry that's been built now on video game reviews, talking about music, talking about TV shows and movies, and all of this that will use material that they're talking about. And now they're trying to figure out a way to make sure, hey, these people should get paid. There are artists and music companies that support Article 13. They think, oh yeah, this is good, this is perfect. Where they say, you know what, we should be allowed to make money off of our creations, and I agree. I'll use an example too, though, with the new Creator Studio. on YouTube. They have a copyright match system. So it alerted me that there were 5 videos of mine that had been completely re-uploaded with no editing whatsoever, and a 6th that had been uploaded with minimal editing. And basically, it's, do you want to copyright strike any of these? Do you want to put in a claim and get them removed? And I looked at them. I looked at the view counts. I looked at the channels. There are channels out there that are kind of what I would call fake channels, where they repost videos from other channels and just have a bunch of them, so that it's like, okay, I'll repost a bunch of these and we'll. They don't seem to be as prevalent now as they were, because you can't just monetize. I think the idea was that you could just monetize all these videos, repost everybody else's stuff, and make money, and duck and run, or cut and run. But it doesn't really happen anymore. So I didn't bother putting in a copyright claim on any of them, but it's there. And I just left it. I went, yeah, that's fine. I think the one with the most views had 700. And I was like, it doesn't matter. And a couple of them were just about the Vegas expansion. I was like, geez, that video's from so long ago. Yeah, just leave it as it is. Because to me, there is a fair use. There is a fair use that's in there. And I don't know that you can create a law where you have politicians and record executives in a room. Just the fact I'm calling them record executives shows just how old it is. Although records have kind of come back into vogue, which is weird. But anyways, the idea that you're going to have politicians and executives from music companies, that sounds better, sitting in a room and hashing out what should or shouldn't be allowed on a format like this on YouTube, means you have people who are out of touch, people who are also out of touch, deciding on something where a lot of artists are just going to say, hey, if you have one moment of a song of mine in your video, I get paid for that video. There are artists that are going to feel that way. And, that's fine. There are also artists out there that are going to say, oh, you're playing some of our stuff? Awesome. Good. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. I know there's been instances where I've talked about bands and played songs where, and again, I'm going back, but where they haven't minded at all. It really doesn't matter to them. Because, again, it gets their name out there. If I'm not just playing a studio version and overdubbing over my videos with it, and it's a really good studio version people can steal, and just use that as their instead of buying it digitally or buying it on CD. I don't think there's a lot of bands that don't really care, that are like, you know what, we support a person's right to enjoy our music and to share our music. So I don't know that the Article 13 thing's going to end up going anywhere. It's going to face a lot of challenges. It's going to face challenges in court. It's going to be very hard to implement and very hard to police, because YouTube has millions of videos being uploaded. Millions. And the idea of being able to police all of that content, now, there's an algorithm they'll put in place, and it's going to be wrong, because that's how algorithms always are at the start. Be so many false positives that'll make your head spin. So it's that's what makes me nervous, is that I might have a title like, for instance, last night, Oilers fire GM Peter Chiarelli. An EU bot or the algorithm they put in place might go, Oilers, that's a hockey team. He's probably got copyrighted content in there. We're going to go ahead and black that out so Europe can't see it, and he'll have to argue to us and have us manually review it that it's okay. So what ends up happening, or even just NHL, there might be NHL footage. We're going to automatically block that video from Europe. But again, it's interesting, because it's going to hit a lot of people. And it's not just on our end. It's going to hit the artists as well. So once artists realize, I'm going to have my own music banned, that instead of making a very little amount of money, now I'm not going to make any off of people watching videos that include my music, because they won't be allowed. So I think it's going to get a little dicier, and I honestly would be very surprised to see it pass in its current form. But there you go. My view on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I know I've had people asking me about it, and I haven't talked about it until now, because now we're at a point where the EU Parliament could pass it anywhere between now and March. but I really don't think it's going to go anywhere, because there are going to be far too many people who really, really hate this idea. Really, really hate it. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And let's hope sanity and reasonable thought prevail in this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.